So hi, Gregg Perry back with the George Fix bonnet. When we left this a couple weeks ago, this was stuck. There was a crack up here in the glass, very tiny, but just removing it, the whole thing shattered. So it's very thin. It's old glass, but I don't think it was original glass. But the glazing job was absolutely horrific. It looks like they put a piece of wood down here and glazed over it, and it looks like a fifth grader did it, seriously. And I don't know what was used, whether it was plaster or typical oil-based glazing. But so we broke the glass out over a don't cut yourself. Break it out over a wastebasket, and then you want to get in here. And we need to use an old chisel. I like to use the chisel upside down and try not to catch any wood. But we need to get a base note down to the wood, and we don't want to take any wood if we don't have to. But just take your time. I mean, I have some guys that I like to wiggle back and forth. There's a whole series of ways we can do this. Like I'm in the 90-degree corner. I don't want to break the wood, and I'm just putting that little corner in there and doing some damage. So that's good. I mean, that's good damage. It's not bad damage. So we need to get it clean. So the new piece of glass, the new old piece of glass, because we got an old piece of glass for this, is going to sit flat. So you can pull and scrape, or you can push. You can do various methodologies here. So that's pretty easy. We're going to go around the whole thing. I'm going to just, you don't want to put too much leverage. Like I twisted a little bit because you could, we could pop this, break this piece of the arch off. So we want to be real careful, and we just want to take our time. And I found that works somewhat, and then we'll try again. So yeah, so that's not going to go. So the piece of glass that was in there there was actually a gap here. It didn't even fit onto the rebate or the rabbet here. So that wasn't good at all. But yeah, so, I like to hold the chisel here and here, just like I'm wood carving, go with a lot of control, and you can't slip, you can't screw up when you're pushing. And then we can, again, put the bevel down. If we have to, they say when you're woodworking, you don't want a dull tool. But what we don't want to do here is we really don't want a sharp tool, because we're into some type of a glazing, which is like a rock, and it's not fibers of wood, so it's a little bit different. So that's good there. And then we can come over here and we can see that some genius came in and put a piece of wood here, and it's not original now. And look at this. So it's probably because they cut the glass too short or something. So, and I don't want to come back this way because I'm going to bruise the 90-degree here. So, just again, it's all about taking your time. I'm just moving it left to right, and just be careful. There's no other pieces of glass in there. And obviously that's not going to go back. And you can see here, that's great, how short the glass was. So somebody made a mistake. God knows why, but anyway, so that's where we are. So then pull the nails out. I always use a putty knife or something, but I may end up using the chisel here. Let's see what we got. So I use the chisel where I'd stick a putty knife here, just again, so I don't bruise this little 90-degree corner. And then just start walking yourself around. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. I think everybody's done this. But again, I have some guys that want to use a router, and it creates so much bloody dust and the noise, and you really don't have control of something that's gone thousands of RPMs. You really don't. So and I mean, I believe, I'm not sure, but I'm going to really look closely. This looks like it was a different grain up here. And look at this kind of crazy cutout up here. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. 18th century, I don't know. I don't get it. I've seen hundreds of inside of bonnet doors, and I've never seen this affair here. So I'm not sure. Yeah, so this looks like it could have been a replacement. So possibly this clock, the George Fix clock, has tumbled, and this piece is different grain. So you had a real amateur come in and do this cutting. Hell, I don't even know how he did it. I mean, he did it without cutting off the arch. I mean, to me, it would have been easier to cut the whole thing and round um, with a coping type saw, and then come back and then just get a round rabbet plane to do it. But if this was done in the 1950s or the 1940s, they had router bits. He could have just put a rabbet on there. So anyway, not the same grain, but sometimes this can be fun. It can be a challenge, or it can be dangerous. But when you have a piece of glass like right there, just flick it out and get rid of it. So anyway, so that's it. So walk yourself around and let's get a nice clean rabbet, and then we're going to get some old glass and we're going to cut it, and we'll show the glazing process. Possibly next week or 2 weeks from now, we'll show the glazing process. And we're going to use an oil-based putty in this, and then color over it a little bit. So that's our modus operandi with this. Gregg Perry, the historic preservationist, signing out. Thanks all for viewing.